Practical Faith, how are you doing this morning? It's a beautiful day. I am so excited. It's Devotional Thursday. It's another Devotional Thursday that we get to spend time together in the Word of God. And please go read this passage. It's Exodus 19 from verse 16 all the way till verse 25. And it got me thinking. It was a challenging one because I already on Monday, I just kind of looked at it. I grazed over it. I was actually looking for something else in Exodus. And I remembered, okay, Devotional Thursday, I'm doing on the last part of Exodus 19. I was like, okay, what am I going to do? And I couldn't get a message. And then I glanced over it on Tuesday again. It's like, okay, I don't know what direction this should take because there's so many directions you can take in this whole passage. And then last night, I kind of looked over. I'm like, okay, Lord, I'm going to leave it for this morning. And this morning, while I'm actually busy getting ready and busy getting dressed, so it just hit me. Put it in our terms. Put your limits. Focus on your preparation before the big day. Because let's be honest, there are certain big days in history, also in our lives, that we've got to prepare for. You know what? This is just before Exodus 20 is where the Lord takes Moses up to the mountain and gives him the 10 commandments. Let's be honest, that's one of the biggest moments in history. But he tells Moses to warn the people to stay in their lanes, to prepare themselves and don't go beyond what you should be going beyond. Focus on the prize. Focus on where you're going. Focus on what we should be doing now. Now, I'm just going to read certain verses out of this. You know, if you just go look at verse 21, it says, "And the Lord said to him," that is Moses, "Go down and warn the people so that they do not force their way through to see the Lord, and many of them perish." He says, don't let them force themselves on the mountain. And Moses asked the Lord in verse 23, he says, "The people cannot come up to Mount Sinai because you yourself warned us. Put limits." He says, "Lord, please put limits around the mountain and set it apart as holy." And in verse 24, the Lord replied, "Go down and bring Aaron up with you. But the priests and the people must not force their way through to come up to the Lord, or he will break out against them." Verse 25, so Moses went down to the people and told them, he said, "Stay in your lane, prepare." You know, there's a massive boxing match coming up now in May. It's Tyson Fury. I nearly said Mike Tyson. It's Tyson Fury versus Alexandra Usyk, I think his name is. I mean, two of the best heavyweights, two of the best boxers of our current generation. I mean, they hold all the bouts. Well, if you know something about boxing, they hold all the bouts, and this fight is kind of cement on one's legacy. Whoever wins is going to, have that legacy of kind of undefeated, the champion of all the belts, the unified champion of the world. We've also got the Olympics coming up. You know what they say is prepare yourself. Stay focused. Don't look at what the other people are doing. Don't focus on what everyone else is doing. Focus on what you are doing. And this is my message today, because the breakthrough is coming. You know what? The breakthrough is coming. There's going to be a time when the Lord is going to send Moses out the mountain with the 10 Commandments. And the breakthrough is going to come for each and every single one of us. But the message I've got, and something's put deep in my heart this morning, is stay in your lane. Stay focused. Stay with Him. Stay in prayer. Stay in the Word. Stay at the feet of Jesus and focus on what you're doing. Don't go try and, don't go try and do silly things. Don't go try. At times we try to do extra. It's basically like bringing the whole boxing analogy in. Just before the fight, they have a couple of press conferences where the boxers meet, and then they have the weigh-in. And you know what they try and do there? I've seen this so many times, like especially with Tyson Fury. He flips his mouth off. His mouth goes, and he belittles his opponent. That's all psychological, because it puts the opponent off, and then they get so irritated. Normally it happens like a day or two before the big fight, and just that last thing, the Lord is telling them, this is the last step before your breakthrough. Stay off the mountain, stay in your lane, stay focused on what you should be doing. Don't go try and do too much extra this morning. Don't go try and do too much extra over the next week or the next month. Focus on what you should be doing. Keep it simple. Because what Tyson Fury does is he tries and aggravate his opponents. Mentally tries to mess with them. Just try and get them out of that zone. And that's his game. He's a trash talker. But that works for him. And sometimes his opponents get so riled up that they forget. Listen, tomorrow or in 2 days' time, we are going to fight. Let the action happen in the boxing ring. Let it not happen before. And that's what I'm trying to tell you now. My message today is stay in your lane. Keep it simple. The breakthrough is coming. don't try and do extra. Don't try and force the situation. Don't try, in this case, like the Israelites, don't try to push onto the mountain to get, in this case, where the Lord said, I'm going to put limits. No one come here because this is set apart and holy. Let no one overstep it, otherwise they will perish. Keep it simple. My message today, keep it simple because the breakthrough is coming. Blessings, guys. We shall talk again soon.